Hey guys, welcome to Geared Forwards. My name's Paul, and today we're going to be talking about a question that comes up occasionally, a lot of the time from people not in the community, but sometimes people in the EDC community as well. And that is, if I have a phone and that phone has a flashlight app, why do I need to carry a flashlight? To some of us, the answer to that seems obvious. To others, it's a genuine question that needs explaining, or you might have people in your life that you're trying to convince the benefits of carrying a dedicated light, and you want something that you can point to say this is why you should. Well, that's what this video is all about. So, standing in for my phone is going to be my phone case, as my phone is currently your eyes. And representing the light side of things, I'm going to be honest, the phone is a bit outnumbered. I only have one phone, but you're going to see quite a lot of different lights popping up in this. But let's start off with why the phone is a good option. What are the benefits of the flashlight app on your phone? So, first and foremost, you always have your phone with you. There might be the odd exception where you're the type of person that can forget your phone, or you cannot have your phone for whatever reason. Perhaps you work in somewhere with a information restriction, or just simply a policy where you have to put your phone in your locker. But by and large, for most of your time, you are going to have your phone on your person, which means by extension, you're always going to have a source of light on your person. And that's a great convenient thing. All of the fancy gear in the world can't help you if you don't have it when you need it. So always having it on you is a benefit. It's generally straightforward to use. A lot of the time there is actually a button in the notification bar or the notification drawer, depending on your system, whether you're iOS or Android or whatever futuristic OS you may be watching this in the future. And that's it, really. That is it. So next we're going to go through the quite long list of why this is not a good option. So first of all, let's start off with our phones are important to us. They're how we stay in contact with each other. They're how we stay connected to the world in general, and a lot of us rely on our phones for other things. Alarms, calendar appointments, entertainment. Our phones are important to us, and by extension, their battery life is extremely important. So if you start using this as a flashlight, you're going to start accelerating your battery drain. Your battery's not going to get you through as much of the day as it would have otherwise, and if you are finding yourself, perhaps it's in winter, where it's a particularly long amount of time you need to use the flashlight on your phone, well, you might end up having to make a choice between being able to see or being able to contact somebody if you need to. And that's not a position you should be in. And yes, you can carry a power bank. You can get them far smaller than this example right here, which is a double port Anker. However, whilst it's a good idea for a lot of us to carry a power bank anyway, a lot of us only do so in a bag or when we go on trips. And you don't want to find yourself plugging your phone into a power bank so you can use the flashlight when something like a dedicated light is going to be so much smaller. Next up, ergonomically, it's less than ideal. So our phones are designed for us to be able to use them like this or like this. They are not designed for us to awkwardly hold them as a flashlight. When you do it like that, you are going to be more likely to drop your phone, and if you're using it to walk on, say, an unlit path, you are actively advertising that you're holding your phone, which for a lot of us is probably the most expensive item on our person at any given time. To anyone gutsy enough and lacking the morals to not just yank it out of your hand to try and sell it for a profit. You're opening your phone up to a lot more risk for not a lot more benefit. So battery life and ergonomics already against it, but just to be blunt, it's not a good flashlight. it's a flash for your phone's camera. That means that it's going to be a very floody, wide spill beam, and that could be great for up close. It's good for photos, but it's not going to have any real distance to it if you're trying to find something across the room or if you're using it to walk down a dark path. They're also typically not that bright. You might think your flash is really bright when it's going off in your face when you're having a picture taken, but in terms of lighting up the night, especially when it lacks any real distance, that's not going to be good enough a lot of the time. You're still going to find yourself straining your eyes even though you have a flashlight in your hands. And I'm going to just throw a little air quotes in there for flashlight. This is not a flashlight, this is a camera flash. So what do you get out of carrying a dedicated light? So first of all, no matter what dedicated light you choose, you are going to get more runtime, you are going to get more brightness, you're going to get variable brightness. I don't think I've ever come across a phone where you could adjust the brightness of the flash for the flashlight function. You're going to get special modes that might be helpful to you, and other various features are going to be a lot more ergonomic. They're going to offer you additional ways to use them besides just holding them in your hand. They're not going to eat your battery. They're not going to advertise something expensive in your hand that's easy to steal. On the complete opposite of that, they can actually provide a little bit more security to you on your long walks. But you might say that I don't want the expense of buying a flashlight. Okay. No, not all of these things are cheap, but a lot of them are. This is an Olight i1R2 EOS. This is the second generation of their keychain light, and it currently retails in the UK for about, I think, £17. Olight themselves often give it for free on a lot of their sales or giveaways. The new version is USB-C recharging, whereas this one has micro USB charging. That might be a little bit of an inconvenience for you, but I imagine there's still plenty of micro USB cables in our lives for the next decade. But what if you don't want a small little keychain? What if you want something more meaty in your hands? Well, this is the Lumentop Edc 01, and this is, still very small, light, portable. This is a AAA flashlight. It gives you multiple modes. It comes with a silicone diffuser to make it more of a lamp than a flashlight, and that was less than £20. In fact, at around the £20 mark, or $20, you can get the Lumentop Tool AA 2.0, and this is an excellent flashlight. It comes with either a tail clicky or a magnetic base, so you can stick it to things. It accepts both lithium 14500s or any AA size battery you care to throw in there. It's going to give you multiple modes. It's very bright. Comes with a pocket clip and it fills your hand. That's not expensive. For a lot of us, the case on our phone is probably more expensive than a lot of these lights. And of course, you can go more expensive. You can go a lot bigger and a lot more expensive than that. Just as if you're looking for something a little fancier, you can also go a little fancier. But the point is that price should not be a concern here. We often spend money on consumables, that cup of coffee, that would very quickly add up to some of these things that would be in your life for several years. So price is not a realistic barrier as long as you know where to look to get a good light. But what if it's too big or too cumbersome, you might ask? I don't want that additional thing to carry. Well, I'm not sure if you looked at any of these and thought that they were quite large and cumbersome to carry. They're not. But just to give you an example, here's my car keys, and this is the original Olight on our EOS. You can see from the wear that it's been well loved. Still works just fine. And that's not adding any meaningful weight to my keys whatsoever. You can put this on a zippable. You can carry a light like this on its own in the fifth pocket of your jeans, or throw it in a pouch or in a small compartment in your bag. Same goes with a lot of this. Carrying these things is easy. It might be new to you. You might be very aware that you're carrying it at first, but that's just because you're not used to it. You will very quickly acclimatize to something, especially if you go for something very small. Or even if you go for something larger, you will acclimatize to that pretty quickly as well. And the trade-offs of using a phone for your flashlight are significantly larger than the benefits you are getting from it. Whereas the multiple ways to carry, to hold, and to use a real flashlight, the multiple brightnesses, the multiple modes, and the accessories that can come with some flashlights to expand their use even further, greatly outweighs, and it's not really a question in my mind whether or not you should carry a dedicated flashlight. You might think, why do I need a flashlight for? Well, the world's dark. That's not a philosophical statement, that's a fact. In the winter, the sun goes down early, but night happens every day and throughout the year. So unless you live in a polar extreme where you get 24 hours of daylight, but even then, it's dark inside. It might be the middle of summer, you might be in a well-lit office, but if you drop something under your desk, you're going to need a light to be able to see it properly. Or perhaps you need a little bit more light to see something. A good example of this would be if, well, probably not a generic example, but an example for knife enthusiasts is you might want to be able to see in a dark little gap like that a little better. But the overall lighting isn't getting in there. You're tilting it to see in there better, and this gives you a much better way of looking into it than using your phone, which, can you see what you're meant to be looking at right now? No, because your phone is a large brick, not a flashlight. So there are a lot of benefits. And this might have been a little rambly, but I'm a little rambly. But hopefully you can see that there is a valid cause, a valid reason to carry a flashlight with you. And to be honest, you don't need something big and expensive. Something small and cheap will work just fine. And you don't have to carry the same thing all the time. You can have a small light on your keys all year round. When winter months come, you can put something a little larger in your pocket. And you should probably have a larger, more capable light in your car at all times for emergencies. But this is geared forwards. My name's Paul, and hopefully you're a little bit more convinced that you should carry your own light. And if you're interested in EDC gear or just talking to folks in general, why don't you check out multitool.org. Now that's a community that is all about not just multi-tools, but knives, flashlights, gear in general, as well as other topics. A community that is helpful, welcoming, and overall a great place to be. I'm not affiliated with multitool.org in any way other than having an account and enjoying my experience there. So why not check it out, and I can talk to you on the forums. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.